TheAdvocateChannel.com looks at the world through the lens of equality and inclusion. Subscribe, like, and share now. AC 24/7's top story countdown continues with our producer's pick for number 3.
Having sex with another woman in a threesome with her husband is not the issue. But when you claim the moral high ground and then you attack the moral integrity of others, the blatant hypocrisy of Mrs. Ziegler and how it reflects on the credibility of this board is a significant concern.
Rudolph Lusek is talking about this woman, Bridget Ziegler.
Know who their candidates are for school board, know where they stand, and hold them accountable.
She's a co-founder of the conservative group Moms for Liberty, and on Tuesday was asked to voluntarily resign from the Sarasota County School Board.
If you were in support of everyone having, these illicit type of relationships, then that wouldn't matter.
Ziegler, a close ally of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, helped author Florida's parental rights and education law, dubbed by critics as the Don't Say Gay bill. It removed discussion of sexual orientation and identity from public schools' curriculum. DeSantis also appointed her to the board that manages Disney's special taxing district.
The resolution recommends that Bridget Ziegler immediately take all steps necessary to voluntarily resign.
Now, she's under intense criticism for a sex scandal involving her husband, Christian Ziegler, the chair of the Florida Republican Party, and a woman accusing him of rape. According to an affidavit, the woman told police that there was a planned sexual encounter with both Christian and Bridget Ziegler in October. Bridget canceled, leading the other woman to also cancel, but Christian still showed up at the woman's home. Bridget, who hasn't been accused of criminal wrongdoing, admitted the couple had a previous three-way sexual encounter with the woman, quote, over a year ago, and that it only happened one time.
Ms. Ziegler, you have tarnished the soul of the school board here with hypocrisy and duplicity.
Ziegler sat stoically through the 3 hours of public comment at a school board meeting Tuesday night and gave no indication of stepping down from the school board as her husband is being investigated.
As people may know, I serve on another public board, and this issue did not come up, and we were able to forge ahead with the business of the board.
Still, she got an earful from the community.
Resign.
The majority of those that showed up criticized her, though she did have some support.
What an adult does in her private life is hers. It's not for you to judge.
But some in the community are pointing to Ziegler's hypocrisy in passing judgment on others.
We hear about all of those hypocrites for my entire life. It's always do as I say, not as I do.
The fallout from the sex scandal and the criminal investigation has been swift. A Moms for Liberty chapter in Pennsylvania split from the national group, and top Republican officials in Florida, including Governor DeSantis, have called on Christian Ziegler to resign.
I don't know that you have any real standing with that hanging over you.
In a statement, Christian Ziegler's attorney said, quote, "We are confident that no charges will be filed and Mr. Ziegler will be completely exonerated."
Like the Advocate channel on Facebook for the best way to get updates on stories that advocate for equality, justice, our rights, and more. AC 24/7 continues with today's top 2 pick.
The truth will come out.
Tonight, more damning testimony against former Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani. Ruby Freeman, a former election worker in Georgia, read for the jury some of the racist, threatening messages she received after Giuliani's public statements in the wake of the 2020 election. Statements targeting her and her daughter, fellow election worker Shay Moss. Appearing visibly shaken on the stand, Freeman read a message saying, quote, "Hope they lock you up and throw away the key, you disgusting expletive traitor."
Their testimony is extremely compelling. They present an emotional picture. They were a volunteer and a temporary employee. They were working on elections and the administration of elections, and they had to move out of their homes. They were the subject of intense threats to their physical harm, to their physical safety.
Freeman read another message, quote, "Pack your S. They are coming for you. I'm not far behind. I'm coming for you also. Trash will be taken to the street in bags." Then Freeman herself said, "I took it as though they were going to cut me up and put me into trash bags and take it out to my street." Also today, a recording was played in court of a call between former President Donald Trump and Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, a call made in January 2021, where Trump mentions Freeman's name 18 times while attacking her.
Ruby Freeman, she's a vote scammer, a professional vote scammer and hustler. Ruby Freeman.
This follows testimony from her daughter, Shay Moss, yesterday about the threats they've received and the playing in court of threatening voicemails sent to both mother and daughter.
Have a nice life. What's left of it you have. You're all going to jail, you piece of
Giuliani falsely accused Freeman and Moss of changing votes in Georgia right after the 2020 presidential election. Now they're suing him, and the judge in this case has already ruled that Giuliani defamed them. The jury is weighing whether to award Freeman and Moss between $15.5 million and $43 million for the reputational harm they suffered from Giuliani's statements, and more for the emotional distress they've endured. Last year, they testified to the House January 6th committee about that.
I've lost my name, and I've lost my reputation. I've lost my sense of security.
What we don't think about is this unequal kind of power dynamic that's going on here. When you have someone with that kind of a huge platform and that fame saying something about someone who has no way to defend themselves on that kind of platform. So you're really seeing that effect here.
Follow the Advocate channel on Twitter and Instagram to stay updated on stories that matter every day. Here's our #1 story of the day. Take a look.
The Supreme Court says it will consider whether to restrict access to a widely used abortion drug. Mifepristone, when taken with another drug, is one of the most commonly used methods of abortion in the U.S.
Has this abortion drug been on the market for more than 2 decades?
Yes, 23 years, I think.
And has it been used by millions of women during that period?
Many millions.
Right now, the drug remains available nationwide. The Supreme Court put on hold lower court rulings that would impose restrictions that abortion opponents would like.
I am concerned because more than half of the abortions in this country are medicinal, and these drugs have been legal in our country for years.
Last year, the conservative-leaning court overturned Roe v. Wade, altering the landscape of abortion rights in the U.S. Now, more than half of states outlaw or severely restrict the procedure. By agreeing to take up the case on mifepristone, the court will once again wade into the abortion debate. A decision, which is expected by July, could put the justices in the middle of the presidential election.
Thank you.
Where abortion has become a hot issue.
I'm pro-life. I believe in creating a culture of life.
The unelected justices said that was wrong, and it should be back in the hands of the people. I agree. That's where we should be deciding this.
The president has been very clear here that he's going to fight that.
Defend abortion rights! Abortion battles are also heating up at the state level. This week, the Texas Supreme Court ruled against a woman who sued for the right to an abortion just hours after she fled the state to get her procedure.
There's no outcome here that I take home my healthy baby girl, so it's hard,
And this week, the Arizona Supreme Court heard arguments from abortion opponents who want to revert back to an 1864 state law banning nearly all abortions.
Abortion is health care. And what that means is that this court's decision will have a profound impact on the ability of pregnant Arizonans to access that health care.
State Supreme Courts in Wyoming and New Mexico are also hearing arguments this week on abortion restrictions. And in Michigan, Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed a bill to expand access and repealed a state insurance coverage requirement.
Let's protect the freedom to make your own decisions without interference from politicians, and let's get it done.
Thanks for watching the Advocate Channel's top stories. We're on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Follow, like, and share, or check out advocatechannel.com for even more stories that advocate for you.